So today we'll begin with Act 4, Scene 1. And this scene, you will find that so many things change, you know. You can find the change in character of Antony, Mark Antony. Till now, we have known him to be a loyal friend and, you know, the one who has been very upset about the death of his friend. And the way, of course, at the same time, we come to know his crafty way of convincing people through his speech. And now, when he has been able to convince the people, he has made people to sympathize with him and, of course, with Caesar. So the triumvirate, means the joint rule of Mark Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus is seen to become more powerful in Rome now. All right. It is very likely that these people will, the triumvirate that they have formed is going to govern Rome. But in this scene, somehow we see a kind of tension among them. You see, basically, it's a political play, and it shows us how in politics the equations change every day, right? So, here in the scene, we find that Antony, though Octavius and Lepidus, they both are there with him. But he somehow is making use of Lepidus even for his own use. He shares it with Octavius. Anybody can know, even Octavius won't like this, the kind of treatment he is giving to Lepidus, the same kind of treatment he may give to him also anytime. They are purging Rome of those who led the coup. Now, what they are doing when they are into power, they are somehow making those people die. They are killing those people whom they think can be a threat to them, or those especially who were against Caesar. Because being against Caesar means they will be against them also, right? So, in a way, there have been formed two groups. And we already know that Brutus and Cassius, they have run away. Other people also are being hunted by the mob. And and not only the mob, even these people, Antony has made those people his target who were against Caesar, because somehow he believes that if they were against Caesar, then they will be against them also. All right, so let's begin. So Act 4 Scene 1 takes place in a house in Rome. Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus seated at a table. Now Antony says, "These many then shall die. Their names are pricked." Pricked means ticked, you can say, in a list. They must have got a list with names of people, and they must be ticking the names of those, who will die. This is what he says. They will die. Their names are ticked. For that, Octavius says, "Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus." Lepidus, do you agree that your brother should also die? Now, you see, you can find here that they are not even sparing their relatives. They are not bothered if the people who are going to be killed are their relatives also, because what they need is power. Here in this scene, we find that Mark Antony also, what all he was doing it for power. So Lepidus is, "I do consent, I do agree." Then Octavius says, "Prick him down, Antony, prick him down, take him down." Lepidus says, "Upon that condition, Publius shall not live, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony." Now, when Lepidus is informed that his brother has to die, so for that Lepidus even clarifies and he says, "On that condition, Publius should also not live, who is your nephew, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony." For that Antony says, "He shall not live. He will not live. Look, with a spot I damn him. I damn him with a spot." He has ticked his name also, But Lepidus, "Go you to Caesar's house, fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge in legacies." Now, he says, "Of course, I take him also. Even if he is my nephew, he will not live. And now I want you to go to Caesar's house, and from there, please fetch the will." And he says, after getting the will here, we will determine how to cut off some charge. How to cut off means reduce some charge. Charge is the expenditure in legacies. Now you see, from here we come to know true colors of Antony also. The will that helped him in getting the faith of people, the will which he declared that whatever belongs to Caesar has been given by him to the people. Now he's asking Lepidus to bring that will so that the expenditure may be reduced. Okay, so that everything is not given to people. Now Lepidus says, "What, shall I find you here? So will I see you here only?" He says, or here or at the Capitol. We'll be either here or at the Capitol. And exit Lepidus. And Lepidus leaves from there. Now, as soon as he leaves, Antony says it to Octavius. This is a slight unmeritable man. This person is slight unmeritable. Unmeritable means undeserving. He's a slight undeserving man, meet to be sent on errands. Meet means suitable, proper to be sent on errands. He can only be sent on various jobs, doing different jobs. Is it fit the threefold world divided? He should stand one of three to share it. Is it suitable that a person who is so undeserving, like, he is talking about Lepidus, that if the power has to be divided into threefold world divided, the power has to be divided into three, then he should stand equally, as one of the three to share it. For that, Octavius says, oh, so you thought him. This is what you thought about him, and took his voice. Voice here means vote. And took his vote, who should be pricked to die in a black sentence and proscription. Proscription is the list. All right, list. Black sentence is the list of blacklisted people. All right, so he says, it was you only who took his vote in deciding who to die, in that list of blacklisted people. For that, Antony says, Octavius, I have seen more days than you. I am more experienced than you. And though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, to ease ourselves of diverse, various slanderous loads, blames, loads of blames, He says that, of course, I'm more experienced than you. And though we lay the honors on this man to ease ourselves of various blames that can load us. So look at his purpose. He, in a way, is just using Lepidus. He says that he is only being used so that the blames that may come to us, we can be eased of them. They will go to him. He shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven, as we point the way. He says that he will be behaving like that donkey, like that ass who is burdened with gold. He is happy that he has gold, but even if it is gold, it is a kind of burden only. And he will groan and sweat under that burden, means he'll take up all the responsibilities, blames, whatever comes with that burden. All right. Either led or driven, as we point the way. He will have to follow us. He will only be following our instructions, and having brought a treasure where we will, then we take down his load and turn him off. And once, like the donkey who is carrying the load, and when he has shifted the load to the place where it's supposed to be, once the load is taken away, then he has to be sent back. Then there is no value to that donkey, like to the empty ass to shake his ears and graze in commons. And then that donkey, even if he was valuable until he was carrying that load of gold. Once that load is taken off, then he is among the common donkeys. Similarly, he's saying that we will be using Lepidus to bring us the treasure. All right, whatever money, like, he has sent it, like he has sent him to Caesar's house to fetch the will. So we will involve him in such tasks. Once we get what we want, then we'll turn him off. Then we'll, we'll shake hands with him. And then he will have to graze in commons, means he will be like other common people. So Octavius says, you may do your will, but he is tried and valiant soldier. You may do what you want, but please understand, he is tried, experienced, and valiant soldier. He is very brave. For this, Mark Antony says, so is my horse, Octavius. Even my horse is very valiant and tried, trained. Tried here means trained. So, and for that, I do appoint him store of provender. Store of provender means supply of food. And that's why I give him food. That's why I am keeping him. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to win, to stop, to run directly on. His corporal motion means physical motion. His physical motion governed by my spirit. He says, of course, even my horse is very trained and very brave. And that's why he has been given the supply of food. But it is a creature that I teach to fight. I teach him everything, where to win, where to stop, where to run directly. All his physical motion, all his physical movements are governed by my spirit. And in the same taste, in the similar way, is Lepidus, but so. Lepidus is no exception. He must be taught and trained and bid go forth, a barren spirited fellow. Even Lepidus has to be taught and trained, and he should be asked to move ahead. He should be asked to move ahead. A barren spirited fellow. He calls him barren spirited fellow, means devoid of true spirits. He is devoid of true spirits. All right. Uh, One that feeds on abjects, odds, and imitations. He is the one who feeds on abjects. Abjects means rejected. Odds are scraps, which, out of use and staled by other men, begin his fashion. He feeds on, he can use only those things which are rejected, scraps, or which are out of use or thrown by other people. That only, there only begin his fashion. Do not talk of him, but as a property. He should be considered only as a property, as a prop, you know. And now, Octavius, listen great things. Now, listen other great things. So, till now, he has spoken about Lepidus, and from this, we clearly know that he is only using Lepidus as a prop. So, Antony is not loyal to anybody. But all he did till now to gain the favor of public on the name of Caesar so that he himself can become powerful. Now, when he is having this triumvirate among three people, he is not even loyal to them, and especially Lepidus. And then he says, and now Octavius, listen great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Now, Brutus and Cassius, they are levying powers, means they are trying to gain powers. They have been to different places. They are gathering army there. We must straight make head. Even we have to be prepared for that. Therefore, let our alliance be combined, our best friends made, our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in the council. How covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answered. He says, now therefore, even we need to prepare ourselves. So, how will they prepare themselves? He says, our alliance should be combined. Then we should make best friends now. Our means, our resources should be stretched. And let us presently, at once, we should go and sit in the council. How covert matters? Covert means unknown matters. Unknown. Huh? How covert matters may be best disclosed. How unknown things may be disclosed to the public. And open perils surest answered. Open perils, open dangers, surest answered. All right. So he says that they can be easily answered. They can be easily encountered. So for that, Octavius says, let us do so. For we are at the stake and bayed about with many enemies. Yes, let us do so. Let us prepare because we are at the stake and bayed about. Bayed about means encircled. He says our condition is as if we are tied to a post. At the stake means as if we are tied to a pillar. Tied to a post or pillar, and bayed about means encircled with many enemies. And some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs. And some of them who smile, they have there in their hearts millions of mischief. So this way the scene ends.